Joe Burrow's Heisman Trophy speech is one of my favorite moments of the entire year in sports. I love it so much. It's certainly one of the best Heisman Trophy speeches I've ever seen. The dude was crying. Joe Burrow was crying at the podium. It was so genuine. It was beautiful. And I love that Joe Burrow thanked Ohio State, his former college. If you don't know, Joe Burrow transferred from Ohio State to LSU. And when he talked about his old school that he transferred out of to try to get on the field, there was no bitterness. There was no anger. He just had genuine gratitude for Ohio State helping develop him and get him to where he is. And that takes so much maturity. And I admire that. I look up to that. That's really, really cool. Joe Burrow literally did everything right during his Heisman Trophy speech. He was announced the winner. He gets up. He hugs all his family. He hugs his head coach, Ed Orgeron. But then he does something that was really wild and really cool and really classy. He's on one side of the podium. He goes and hugs his family. He walks all the way across the auditorium, goes to find Ohio State's head coach, Ryan Day. Ryan Day was there because two other Ohio State members were also nominated to win the Heisman Trophy. So Ryan Day's there in the crowd. He goes over there and he hugs Ryan Day, the Ohio State head coach, and he hugs the Ohio State strength coach who's there for, to support Chase Young and Justin Fields. So he went out of his way to walk across the auditorium to hug people who he no longer works with. Joe Burrow gets it. Joe Burrow understands. If I'm an NFL franchise quarterback, everything I do is an example and is it's me. It's like a resume and an interview. Everything you do leaks out and is important. People have eyeballs and they're watching. Joe Burrow thanked his offensive line. He thanked his teammates. He had this beautiful moment where he thanked Ed Orgeron, his college head coach at LSU, for taking a chance on him when he transferred because he said, "You had no idea how good I was. You took a chance on me. I really appreciate it. My family loves you and appreciates you." It almost made me cry. I was like, this is beautiful. This is so cool. And then here's what's really telling and shows how much Joe Burrow understands the impact of his words. He gave a shout out to his home state and his hometown in Ohio, talking about poverty. And by talking about that issue, he brought a lot of donations to Ohio, to his hometown. They got money donated to them because he was willing to bring them up. The awareness and understanding, hey, my words have power. Bam, he gets it. Joe Burrow's Heisman Trophy speech was perfect. It was literally everything you could ask for an NFL team. He showed tremendous depth. He showed authenticity. If I'm an NFL franchise looking at Joe Burrow, watching, I would feel completely comfortable making Joe Burrow my top man. I remember when I was in high school, some of the rich dads at our school would buy their sons a brand new sports car. I remember one guy in particular, his dad bought him a brand new Mustang. And I immediately thought, oh no, that is a bad part. Remember me, I got my first car literally for free from a drug dealer. I'm not even kidding. So it was pretty wild. And when I saw this dad bought his son a Mustang, I was like, that's a bad idea. That son is reckless and irresponsible. And I wish I was kidding. I'm not. That son 2 months later wrecked that Mustang. Bam, that car trashed instantly. And there are some people in life where you look at them and you go, I'm not comfortable giving you the keys to this car. I don't think you have the responsibility it takes to handle this moment. Joe Burrow was absolutely not one of those guys. Johnny Manziel was one of those guys. When he was drafted, he's a Heisman Trophy winner. The Browns drafted Johnny Manziel, and you're like, ooh, I don't know that you give Johnny Manziel the keys to that brand new Mustang. Joe Burrow, here are the keys. Be home by 9. I trust you. In fact, be home at 10. Be home at 11 if you want. I trust you to have good judgment. I trust Joe Burrow. His Heisman Trophy speech is a great example of a guy who clearly understands the responsibility and the weight that it takes to be an NFL franchise quarterback. In his speech, he showed wisdom and depth far beyond his years. His graciousness was awesome, the way he talked about Ohio State. I thought it was so cool. And then the coolest thing he said was this. I think near the second third of his speech, he talked about how he tried to leave a legacy of hard work and preparation everywhere he went, from high school to college to his second college. I love Joe Burrow. He's a great quarterback on the field. Everything on the field from Joe Burrow, arm strength, accuracy, decision-making, I love it. But then forget on the field stuff. The other side of playing quarterback that matters is how you present. And Joe Burrow presents incredibly well. I'm equally confident in Joe Burrow on the field as I am off the field. And that right there, that is such a good feeling. To have Joe Burrow, the top quarterback coming up in the NFL draft, who's not Ryan Leaf, who's not Johnny Manziel, who's not even Baker Mayfield, no offense to Baker, but Baker's outspoken and does stuff. I cringe sometimes. Joe Burrow gets it. He presents incredibly well, and he's really talented on the field, and he's the best quarterback in the NFL draft physically on the field. But also, again, the way he presents, the Heisman Trophy speech and the way he handled himself that night was so classy and elegant. I was like, man, this guy gets it. He's got a ton of responsibility. And if I'm an NFL franchise, I have no problem giving him the keys to that car.